two fighting, they will say it's a case of armed robbery.
Oh my goodness.
You understand? To ensure that the court does not grant you bail. You understand? Because if there's just a minor two fighting, they can just grant you bail in the court. So when the prosecutor does not want you to be granted bail, they will now put up trump up charges, and then say they will charge you for robbery, they will charge you for kidnapping, charge you for this and this. And when the magistrate or a judge sees that, there is no way the magistrate or the judge will grant you bail for such an offense. So that was why the first time we went there, that was in 2023. I think that should be November in 2023. The chief judge of Rivers State also frowned at that. He emphasized on that people should not be charged on minor things that can be the person can be prosecuted and then the judge can deliver judgment on such issue in less time. Not a situation where you have somebody that have stayed for just stealing of let's find his crime, but for somebody to be in the correctional center for 9 years, 10 years for stealing let's say power bank,
oh my goodness,
is really. And there was even a pathetic situation where a man said he was arrested while he was coming back home. I think he was going home late. They arrested him, he was in the custody and got blind and all of that. So you can see that kind of situation. And there's another one that was arrested. He said he had an issue with the girlfriend. He showed the girlfriend his visa, that they've given him visa to travel out. And the girlfriend said, no, if you travel, maybe you are going to marry from there and all of that. She tore the visa. Yes, and fight ensued. While they were fighting, I think the girl used her head to hit on the wall or iron. She died. She was rushed to the hospital. While she was in the hospital, she died. So the parents of the girl came and said they don't want case, they don't want to follow up the matter. So the guy said why the chief judge was asking him question, why were you brought here and all of that. He said he now narrated this story, and he now said that the family of the girl said they don't want case, the boy should be released. Then the IPO said he should pay something, he should give him something. Just because he could not raise that money, he charged him for murder and all of that. That was how he got himself.
And he was in custody for how long?
Till 9 years.
Lord have mercy. 9
years. 9
years.
years, yes. 9 years.
We have a break coming up, and I think it's coming at the perfect time. After the break, more questions for Emeka and hopefully answers from you. Please stay with us. CoolWazobiaInfo, Port Harcourt newsroom. You're welcome once again, Emeka.
Thank you, Sam.
So you were talking before the break about some of the offenses and how this really is a pathetic situation. If we are to point accusing fingers, or better yet, blame someone, who would be held responsible, or what group of persons would be held responsible for keeping these people for this long on awaiting trial for offenses that do not deserve that kind of what I would call punishment?
Okay, I think we are to blame this on the DPP and the prosecuting authority, that is the police.
Okay.
Now, sometimes maybe you are arrested for something, and maybe the IPO in charge of your case maybe discover that, like from the testimonies of some of the inmates, discover that yes, you don't really have anything to offer, and maybe they've made maybe some attempt to get something from you. You couldn't give them anything. The next thing they do is for them to charge you to court, and sometimes they will charge you to a court that does not have the jurisdiction for the trump of charges that they've put on you. So when they take you to that court, when a court does not, especially magistrate court, when they come to say that okay, you've committed armed robbery, kidnapping, murder, magistrate does not have such jurisdiction to entertain such a matter. So what the magistrates will do in most cases is that when the case, at times the magistrates will remind you to the correctional center, pending on the next adjourned date on the matter. Maybe on the next adjourned date, sometimes they will come now to say, okay, they will come with an expert motion to say, okay, they've not finished investigation on your matter, you should still be there. Maybe the next adjourned date again, when they will bring you in court, they will now say, okay, DPP advice. From that DPP advice will be where you just remain in custody till when God will say, okay, the chief magistrate, the chief judge will be going for jail delivery. Maybe they may just, the correctional center, they add your name among those with offenses that have not been appearing in court. So why they bring the list of these people they bring are those that maybe they've been there for a number of years. Nobody's coming after their matter. Nobody's prosecuting them. Nobody's coming to say, oh, this I have issue with so person, and they've not been appearing in court. So when they look at those, when they look at their files and see that, oh, this person has not been going to court for quite a number of years, they'll just add your name. Then that is where the magistrates will now ask you question that, okay, why were you here? How long did you appear in court and all of that? You will not say it. If you look at your offense, if the Legal Aid Council, the Human Rights Organization and others, and the DPP, if they actually say that yes, your matter is the way you've presented it before the magistrate can let you go.
Of the 24 inmates who were pardoned, what was the minimum time?
9 years.
Minimum?
Yes, that they've stayed.
That they had stayed?
Yes.
And you confirmed that many of them had minor offenses?
Yes, they say it there. It's not something of me confirming it. They say it. The chief judge will ask them, how long have you been here? And they also gave off the list of, they also gave us a document that contains their names and the number of years they've stayed, their offenses and all of that. But the chief judge does not just follow what they've stated in that book. He will ask you, what is your offense? What brought you to this place? So you use your mouth to say it. But there are some cases that maybe when he looks at it and okay, the matter is still ongoing, you will not be granted pardon. You say, okay, let your matter continue in court, because that one is something that is still ongoing. They are still prosecuting you.
Emeka, it's not being Nigerian. Some things should not shock you, but once in a while, these stories gives you the shiver. I imagine a person spending even a week in detention because he stole a power bank. While, of course, I'm not endorsing the behavior. Power bank. And it seems like the police officers take pleasure. Well, I'll be opening the phone line shortly, but let's look at what a legal practitioner has said. The human rights lawyer, Henry Ekine, urged magistrates to utilize the administration of criminal justice law to combat unlawful prosecution of suspects. Mr. Ekine made the call in an interview with correspondent Emeka Ortuka while reacting to the prolonged detention of inmates without trial in correctional centers. He emphasized that the administration of criminal justice law grants magistrates the authority to scrutinize charges against suspects to prevent unjust charges and detentions. Let's hear from Barrister Ikine.
The police authorities should be able to know that they are not there for the complainants alone, and then they should know that even the criminal suspect has a right, and they should be objective, not bringing up trump-up charges. Then two, the magistracy, where they usually will come up with these matters, should seize the power vested in them under the administration of criminal justice law to clearly interrogate and inquire into the charges when they are brought before them. And then I also recommend a reduction of the level of granting applications for remand.
He also called on the Department of Public Prosecution, DPP, to be dispassionate in its legal opinion on assigned cases.
The Director of Public Prosecution should be more active, and that department should be reorganized in such a way that the legal opinion that is required when a file is referred to them should be made and returned spontaneously, and it's possible. If they have limited manpower, as in state council in that department, then they should employ more. But otherwise, it is one other mischief that we have.
The human rights lawyer also advocated for frequent jail delivery exercise by the chief judges.
The office of Chief Judge of the state should make this jail delivery more frequent than occasional, because I'm not sure that any law requires that it should only be done during seasons. Then again, even the Administration of Criminal Justice Monitoring Council in Rivers State should be more active, so that the magistrates that are required to be appointed to go to detention centers and ensure that persons are not kept too long in detention, including the police cells, or ensure that persons are granted bail even at that level, or even discharged at that level, should be seen to be doing their work.
Anyway, Emeka, when people say make sure you don't get involved with the law, that's advice everybody should really take seriously.
Honestly,
I think we should. I don't know the frequency of the exercise, the jail delivery exercise. I don't know how frequently it's supposed to happen. But I think we'll have to commend this chief judge. The last one was November last year, you said?
Yes, I think 55 inmates were released.
And
before then, too, he sent some magistrates to go to some of the correctional centers like Degema, I think Ahoda, to release some inmates as well.
Okay.
Before that one that he carried out by himself.
And the latest, of course, was this one from last week.
Yes, was that of last week. Although he promised to visit again.
Okay.
Yes.
So there has to be something, talking about this on radio, which of course is our job. It has to head in the direction of some kind of solution. Something must be done, because the police. Oh my!
The solution here is just for the police to ensure that suspects are properly prosecuted. You don't do things because maybe the person does not really have somebody that will come for him while in your custody. Because there are some persons who have committed serious offense. Okay, take a situation. That's a doctor at what is it called? Iguruta, that they paraded last time for child trafficking and all of that. Do you know that barely 2 months that guy was released and committed another crime?
Oh my!
But somebody that stole power bank was taken to correctional center. You can see the irony.
Well, it's because they had nothing to offer.
So I think
Obviously.
if the police ensure proper prosecution of suspects, we will not have much inmates in the correctional centers.
There has to be some regulation, some oversight. Telling the police to sanitize itself, Emeka, you and I know that would lead in no direction at all. So there has to be an authority, that ensures that if it does not happen.
The authority is just like what the chief judge said the last time, that they should ensure that these inmates are not just thrown in the correctional center because you want to punish them. Ensure you prosecute this person. Ensure you carry a proper investigation before charging them.
Well, 0817-923-0002. What are your thoughts on this? The chief judge had a jail delivery exercise last week, Friday precisely. Emeka was there, and there were pardons for 24 inmates awaiting trial. 0817-923-0002. 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp is 080 903 06416. We're live on Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. You can watch as you listen and drop your comments on those platforms. Victor Idongesit at Tukudo on Facebook says, this is a very serious issue that needs to be addressed because it is disheartening. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Icha Oku still on Facebook says, good evening guys. Good evening to you. Zion calls from GRA. Good evening, Zion.
Yeah, Sam Oracle, good evening to you.
Good evening.
We can only get it right if the police officers are also being prosecuted.
True.
Because for we keep talking, we are going nowhere. The reason most of these people went to prison or went to correctional center is because they don't have maybe 200,000 to give the police the IPO. They don't have 100,000, 200,000. Okay, don't worry. And they use this thing, you will go to jail as an intimidation to most of the suspects. So now the chief judge has gone for jail delivery, right? Which you appreciate him. Please, sir, can you also order for the IPOs of those cases and put them under investigation and also prosecute them? Because, Sam, I don't know when you went to this prison last. I don't know. But I want to advise you don't go there. Because you will come back home being depressed. For the number of people that are there, congested, no medical care, no attention. In fact, I want to say that most of us that our brothers are police officers, we should advise our brothers.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Zion. Well, Emeka was there for us last week, so I may not need to go there. Thank you, Emeka, for going. Good luck calls from Andoni. Hello, good luck.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon / good evening. Go ahead.
Okay, evening.
We're doing well. Please go
ahead. I think we should do it this way. It's not every matter that's supposed to be taken to a police station. We have the traditional rulers, the CDCs and the rest of other institutions in the localities that can take care of these matters. So even if the police should be involved, I think some of these matters should be returned back to the community to be handled by the traditional rulers. You know, and for some of this, for instance, someone who stole the power bank, should be made to pay back the power bank. And if there is any other penalty the community can give to this person, than just crowding the correctional centers with some of these issues that is not supposed to be, maybe because these people doesn't have money to pay. I thank the chief judge for at least being able to rescue some of these persons. Like there is one of them here from my locality that also is a beneficiary of this exercise.
Okay.
So I think it's not every issue. Government should at least stipulate some those major matters that is supposed to be taken to the court, or that as in go beyond the police station and the traditional rulers. Not every minor issue, or those issues are not that from the justice.
Thank you. Good luck. Point has been taken. Daniel calls from Imogate. Good evening, Daniel.
Good evening, Oracle Sam.
Good evening. Please speak up.
Daniel Imogate, Oracle.
All right.
I'm asking a question.
Okay.
Like we here in the civilized, or we like call them developed countries, when one is wrongfully jailed, they give that person compensation. But here in Nigeria, many cases like that can be 50 years in jail, and maybe somehow along the line, he was wrongly jailed. Why don't we pay compensation? And the issue of these police cases now, that we see minor offenses or whatever, why are they not compensated?
All right. Emeka, you want to say something?
About compensating the inmate? Yes, a lawyer also said that you can also sue the police if you know that, yes, you are wrongfully charged or wrongfully prosecuted, that when you are out, you can as well then take your own legal action. But some of these persons cannot do that now. Somebody that cannot tip a police officer or his IPO for him to be released, is it the same person that will come out? And when you even see these persons, some of them are even sick. There are even people that maybe to integrate back to the society is difficult. So how will that person now start prosecuting or going to court to sue the police or take any legal action? It's not possible. Fine, it's within their right, but can they actually carry out this? Right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's difficult.
Honestly, a person who just makes it out is just excited to be free. Speaking about, again, yes, like you said, it's well within their rights, but most Nigerians will not think along those lines.
No. These persons are not. Some of them, while they are there, they are malnourished. When you see them, they are not looking like the ordinary human, as in the way they look there. So they are only just that, oh, thank God I'm out. Let me go home and see how I can be reintegrated into the society to think of what to do. Do you think that some of these persons will even know their community back to know their way back to their community?
My dear, I'm thinking a lot of things. A person who's been behind bars for 8-9 years,
yes.
right?
And
First
has
of all,
not seen the outside society.
You very likely have no phone.
Phone. Most of them don't have phone.
Yes, you very likely will not. Okay, the flyovers which were constructed by the previous administration,
they are not aware of such.
Yeah, so that's in the space of 2-3 years, right? So there would definitely be visible changes to your community. Will your house still be your house? If you are living in a rented apartment, are you sure your family will still be there? There are so many things. Oh my, it's crazy, Emeka. It really is.
There is one of the inmates that said his own is he works in one of these big supermarkets, and around that area where he works, there are these area boys that wanted him to join their gang groups and all of that. So while they were somewhere negotiating, police came and arrested them.
Oh my!
That was how he spent 9 years and all of that.
Victor calls from Rumokroshi. We've lost that call. Muriel from Okrika. Good evening, Muriel.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Please go ahead.
Earlier today, in your news, we heard that how many men syndicate that kidnapped this car. And so they say some of them they met in the prison. This time, our prisons have done much harm to our young men and women. But those of them that have been so fortunate to visit those places to be reminded there. I believe there are some innocent places, the way our people go about raiding areas, where one particular crime happens, they just raid persons and go and put them in those. I don't call it national centers. If the places are even better, I call them dungeons. They gather them and they throw them there. And it has made them worse. In fact, worse.
Oh my. All right, thank you, Muriel. The point you are making is that the correctional centers do not correct. Seriously, these stories are heart-wrenching. I think IPO should be investigated too. Why will someone who stole power bank be sent to prison? This is a sign that every sector in Nigeria is corrupt. Clef Austin Rodriguez says on WhatsApp. Oracle, how do you go about getting redress against such police officers? How long are we going to continue like this? Well, you have to engage a lawyer. It begins right there. Because I'm certain that no matter what Emeka and I tell you, there are some things we would skip or not even know. So a legal practitioner will be in the best position to tell you how to go about it. We're live on Facebook and Twitter at NigeriaInfoPH. You can drop your comments on those platforms. Ajiri Oyibo says, good evening, gentlemen. The story is sad. The government should do something about it. Nigeria is never a banana republic. I like that. I like when people criticize, but still, do not insult. Thank you very much, Ajiri, for that comment. Well, Emeka, we are all Nigerians and we are a part of this. I want to ask how the judiciary is looking to sanitize itself and all of that. What needs to be done? I know that Barrister Ekine has said a lot on this. But really, there has to be... We have to look into the activities of the IPOs. There has to be a way around it. Right? Because if you remember...
Okay, like you said, there have to be a way around it. One is for the judiciary as well to also know when to give advice on cases assigned to them, more especially the DPP. Sometimes you see a matter for 6-7 months, DPP they've not given advice. You see some suspects saying that some lawyers handling some matters will be complaining that up to for over how many months they have not been advised on cases assigned to the DPP. So if they can also do their own, look at the case file. This matter is not supposed to be like this. This person should be granted bail. If they give such an advice, the magistrate has no choice than to grant bail.
Larry calls.
So I think the whole situation is just boils down to the corrupt practices in most of the sectors.
Larry calls from Port Harcourt. We're getting to the end of this conversation. All right, Wachuku from Omagwa. Hello, Wachuku.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Please go ahead.
The issue here we are discussing is this. To me, the judiciary, the judges should be blamed. Why I'm saying this is that they know that many of them just entered just like that, or the correctional center. They're supposed to have attended to such matter. That is why I'm saying it. Because police has their own way of doing things. Since they cannot prosecute police, they would have attended to that matter and see that this matter is a plain matter. Handset or power bank. They didn't sue them immediately. Even what this one, we are sending people to a magistrate when they know it is a murder case. The magistrate is supposed to say, no, it's not my decision. I am interested in this matter. I know that sometimes when we want to court, we always see when a lawyer will say, I'm interested in social matter from my issue. And they will call that matter to pick up. Because Nigeria is with their last side, they don't do the way they like. So that's my stake.
Thank you very much, Wachuku. I'm speechless, Emeka. I really am. Because
if you go there, you'll be amazed with the kind of story that these inmates will tell about their situation and what brought them to the correctional center. You'll be surprised that can somebody do this to his fellow human and all of that. Some will be there for some have stayed for. So most of them that have stayed for 9, some of them have not gone to court one day. Maybe the first time they just took them to court where they said, okay, DPP advice. That is how the matter will just end. So the person maybe that brought them to the police station that took the matter to the police will say, I'm no longer interested. Let this person be released and all of that. The police will insist that this person should go to
drop something. Okay. Emeka, thank you. I think this is as much as I would want to take on this. Well, we're glad that this is out in the open. I'm certain that the judiciary has a way of sanitizing itself. I really don't know how to wrap this up because, you and I have had a conversation about this and I was just as amazed and shocked. And now that, we are on air, you're talking about it, talking about some of those cases and bringing fresh ones. It's the same emotions, I'm having that rush. It's crazy because these are people's sons, husbands, uncles. They belong to families. Yes,
like one that was that of November last year. One of them said he has a family that the wife has left, and not that the last he heard of the family was when someone came to see him and said that they no longer see the wife around their environment.
Emeka, thank you for your work, for all you've done, and all you will still do. That will still put you under stress for. We appreciate you for this report.
Thank you very much, Sam, for having me.
Yes, my pleasure. Well, coming up at 5 is a news update, and after that, important conversations around government donations or donations done by government officials. Where does the money come from? Do the citizens approve of it? These are questions that require answers. Please stay with us.